We've just seen the Champions League round of 16, and this video is going to be focused all on the La Liga teams in that competition and how their performances looked. So if you guys are fans of Spanish football, make sure you subscribe because this is Lengua de la Liga. We typically do a weekly show covering the Spanish top flight, but we also follow the Spanish teams as they progress through European competition. And we're not going to stop that up until the final, I guess, unless all the Spanish teams get knocked out. But I'm not sure if that's likely or not. Anyways, hit subscribe if you like Spanish football. We're going to break down the games first, then we have a couple mini talking points at the end. We'll start with the Madrid derby since that's the one that just concluded. Real Madrid beating Atleti on penalties. I'm kind of curious what you guys think of this first. Maybe we'll start with the neutrals here, Michael and Jose, and then Andre and I can get into it because you're just going to hear me, like, I don't know, sob for 10 minutes. So I'm not sure how much the audience wants to hear that. But so we'll start with you guys. Michael, why don't you say how you feel about the Madrid derby?
I don't think Simeone is ever going to win it. I think he's just cursed. It's now Real Madrid have knocked out Atleti in the round of 16, the quarterfinal, the semifinal, and 2 times in the final of the Champions League. They're just cursed. And I think they actually played a pretty good game to the Atleti. I think they battled well. They defended very well. They nullified completely Mbappe, Vini out of this game. I really thought Atleti, and they created enough opportunities. Once they got that goal in the first 30 seconds, I was like, exactly what they need. They can now sit back, defend, and play their own game rather than Real. Now they got to switch up their sort of tactical idea into this matchup. And I thought, wow, this is a perfect, it's like all the stars were aligning for Atleti to overcome all the demons. But then you get to penalties. And that's my issue. You want to play for penalties? Okay. Oblak is not the best. Yeah, in hindsight, it's easy to say that, Oblak, he's not the greatest at penalties. You're going up against Thibaut Courtois, and then you're going up against just Juju. I mean, it's just Juju at this point. A double tap, a crossbar. Are you kidding me? What else does Diego Simeone need to do against Real Madrid to knock them out? I do feel bad for every Atleti fan, but at the end of the day, this is Real Madrid in the Champions League. They're simply unbeatable. They will always find a way. Even when Vini and Mbappe played as terribly as they did, and Vini through these 2 games, and I think Mbappe through these 2 games were quiet, they still got the job done. So imagine if those 2 play well. They're going to win it again.
That's what I'm saying. You took the words right out of my mouth. The stars aligned for Atleti, for us to do something, and we couldn't. Like, I know we've had some heartbreaks in the Champions League before, but I think especially in this game and after the Conor Gallagher goal in the first 30 seconds, we're never, ever going to have a better opportunity than that. I think in the history of the rivalry, that was it. And of course, I'm gutted about the slip in the double tap, which I'll be honest, even blown up in 8K resolution, I still couldn't really tell if he touched it. I feel like I don't know, a goddamn Giants or Cowboys fan, like arguing about a pass interference call in the Super Bowl where it's like, he didn't touch him, like that's how I feel about it. I just feel like if it's not 100% conclusive, give the pen, give it to Julian. But I just feel like Atleti, we played so well defensively. We could have gone for it a little bit more. And maybe that's why I'm so disappointed is we'll never see a Madrid back line this bad again. At least on paper, I think performance-wise, they were actually okay. We'll never see an Atleti 11 this close. If I'm not gonna say better, but this close to a Real Madrid 11 in a 2-legged affair like this, and we still couldn't get it done. And for the reasons that transpired, even with the Vinicius penalty miss. I mean, again, the universe was like, please make the quarterfinals. Yeah. And we couldn't do it, and I don't know. There's a couple of Atleti players that I think deserve a little bit of smoke. I can do that now, or Jose, if you want to jump in, you can give your piece, and then Andre, of course.
Yeah, I mean, look, bro, I'm convinced at this point, Florentino Perez has just made a deal with the devil, and they're gonna find a way every single time, for the most part, right, to just progress through this competition. Atleti were the better team in every aspect of the pitch. I really can't think of a single area where Real Madrid were better. And yet here we are. We're sitting here talking as they progress through this competition at the next round. This was probably also the tie of the round. I really can't think of another tie that I think mirrored this one. Maybe because it was a derby, but at the same time, bro, like Atleti played so well across both legs. So well. Neutralized the superstars in a number of different ways. I won't talk in circles in terms of what Michael said, but bro, I think the player I'm willing to bet you're probably going to just give all the smoke to. We talked about it a little bit, pre-show is Correa, and I think he had some moments that were good, but what a week for Angel Correa, man! Just put himself on the shit list of every Atleti fan. The chance to lay it off for Julian, instead chooses to shoot. Just moments throughout this tie where you feel like in La Liga, Simeone's men, especially on the bench, right? Sorloth, Correa, whoever comes off, probably has the deepest bench and the most impact players available to him. And it still didn't matter. It still didn't.
Correct.
Yeah, it still didn't allow Atleti to really kind of move on. So I'm not going to sit here and say that this will always be the case, man. But when you look at the track record between these two teams in Europe, yeah, it's so one-sided, man. Jack, I can only imagine how you feel right now.
If we win La Liga now, I will survive. If we win the Copa del Rey, I will be okay. But if we don't win anything, this game and this penalty shootout, much like the last time we played Real Madrid in the Champions League, will probably haunt my memories for the rest of my life. Like, I'm just going to keep going back to this game and be like, God damn, is this where it all went wrong? Maybe it went wrong at Getafe in the last weekend. I know we didn't do an episode for that. Maybe that was the foreshadowing, but man, dude, it's just so frustrating. It's so frustrating. And Vinny and Mbappe were basically ghosts. And we still didn't win. And he missed a penalty.
I'll tell you though, this is not even strong enough word. He absolutely shanked the fuck out of that PK.
And it was all block.
Bro, you could have told me that was a Sunday league penalty kick. Like if he was ever hoping to redeem himself for the Ballon, this is a season to forget for Vinny all the way around.
This is just making the loss worse and worse. Andre, I mean, of course you're excited about the about the result. You are a Madrid fan. I know you're not wearing the kit. Just for the people watching, maybe this is their first time tuning in. How are you feeling?
I didn't want to be disrespectful, Jack. We were atrocious across 180, 210 minutes. But my question to you guys, I mean, you guys have gone, and listed all the facts about the game and, all the ins and outs about Cholo. What's missing? Like, what do you think is that one thing that you guys needed to do to actually get through? Like, to Jose's point, you guys were better in every single category of the game. So what is it?
Not play Real Madrid. Like, I think in all honesty,
is it mental? Is it a mental thing?
I think it's the same reason. Again, this is not even like shade, but it's the same reason Real Madrid can't beat Barcelona. Yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's just one of those where your biggest rival, for whatever reason, form goes out the window. Any trophies you might have won in the season up to this point go out the window. It literally is. Had they not drawn Real Madrid this early, this version of Atleti is poised, I thought, to go deep into this competition.
Semis, at least, for sure.
Yeah, and I think that, you look at just who they would have had next. Either one of these Madrid teams is going to beat Arsenal. And so this was like tailor-made for Atleti to make a very deep run had they just avoided their biggest rival, and it didn't happen. So it just feels like if somehow they can avoid Real Madrid, they'll be fine, because this is the best team Simeone has had in what, 10 years?
10 years.
Since he got here, probably.
I'll say two things. I'll say number one, Real Madrid are definitely a bogey team for Atleti. And bogey teams exist in every competition. You want to go to CONCACAF. I think Mexico is Panama's bogey team. Doesn't matter how good Panama are under Christensen. Mexico beat them soundly every single time. Tottenham and Manchester City. Why does Man City lose to Spurs every single time? I couldn't even explain that to you. You could say Chelsea or Spurs bogey team. And clearly in this case, Real Madrid are Atleti's bogey team. And that explains it partially. But why I think Atleti don't have deeper runs in this competition in other years, and why I think if you even look at our domestic cup performance, why it's really not that great. I think Simeone has 2 cups in Spain in 11 years, 12 years. I don't think his style of play is built for tournaments, not for winning at all. I think he's much more of a league format manager. And I think it's because of his innate defense first mentality. I mean, we laughed about it in the chat, bro. We had 7 center backs out there to end the game. Why are you doing that when Real Madrid are gassed? Their best players are mute. They're not even involved in the game. and we're subbing with the deepest bench in La Liga, maybe one of the deepest benches in Europe. We're subbing Azpilicueta on. I mean, I couldn't believe my eyes. I was waiting for Witsel to come on as striker. Like, that was the only thing that could have made this more embarrassing, I think, from a substitution standpoint. Like,
And you're at home, and it's a fortress.
and we're at home. Dude,
And
that's
it's a
Rwanda was rocking. It was.
That's why I
rocking.
texted you
Shout
guys
out
at
to
the
the
beginning of the
fans,
game.
bro.
Before the game, I was like, I do not have a good feeling about this. Mentally, you could tell, like, even, all the Madrid players have played on their national teams. Mbappe's played World Cup finals. Jude's played Euro Cup finals. You could just tell. Like, there's something about being human in that moment where you're like, I fucking respect who I'm playing against and where I'm playing. And it showed. First 30 seconds of the game, I was like, I knew it was going to happen. They were going to send the cavalry. I was like, this is going to be a long fucking day for us. Once it was 1-0 at halftime, I was like, all right, I'm feeling better. And then the tide completely flipped for extra time. So I was like, I'll take it. Obviously, I'm not going to say, oh, I'm not pleased that we went through. But I don't know how long we can keep doing this, right? Like, we get Arsenal next. And yeah, granted, Arsenal, Jose, you can attest to this being an Arsenal fan. Like, it hasn't been the greatest season for Arteta. You guys have had injuries as well. So both clubs are kind of in a similar situation where it's like, we kind of need this to, like, give something back to our fans, but also mentally to energize us, towards the end of the season. So it's going to be an interesting tie. But going back to your point, Jack, like, playing at home with the fans behind you, with all those chances, with our best players not performing, with us having the shittest fucking back line we've had in years, that was the chance. That was it. I had a feeling that you guys were going to win and win, handedly, and that it was going to be one of those where, like, I just put my hands up and say, fuck it, you guys go through. Like, you deserved it. Here's a clap. But, dude, I don't know. I just couldn't believe my eyes.
It's Real Madrid DNA.
Yeah.
It is the DNA. And it pains me more that PSG were able to exercise at least a demon yesterday in Liverpool. It was like, wow. Again, going back to the stars, bro, the whole universe, every star, sun, white dwarf, everything that was in the goddamn galaxy far, far away, everything was in a line. Yeah. And we still, by the double tap on Julian's boot, we go out. And it's just, and then Oblak gets his hand on the Rudiger penalty. I mean, it looked like the goddamn I show speed penalty in the Sidemen charity game. I mean, you gotta save that, brother. I'm sorry. I love Oblak, one of the best goalkeepers in Europe over the last 10 years, but God, it just really, really pained me. Any more thoughts on this before we go to Benfica? I know we're a little short on time.
Does this give us does this give us more confidence or less confidence in Real Madrid winning the Champions League? Or does it really matter? Because it's Real Madrid at the end of the day in the Champions League. To be honest, I think it gives more confidence.
From a fan standpoint, yeah, from a fan being a fan, like, for sure, it gives us more confidence because now Atleti are out. Now we don't have to run into them and later or deeper into the tournament. And we play Arsenal, like I said, similar stories to Madrid. If we beat them and we're already in the semis, like, are you kidding me? Like, we can win the whole thing, right? So I think it gives you that level of, like, encouragement of saying we can play like shit but still get it done. We don't have to play pretty. We're not tiki-taka Guardiola. We don't have to delight the fans. I just want to fucking win. And so I think that's the DNA, to your point, of Real Madrid and the fans that expect that, right? Like, hasta el final, vamos Real. Like, there's a reason why it said that. Like, 93rd minute for Ramos, we can go on and on how many times, we've done it. So I think in that competition, to Jack's point, that's where both clubs are different. That's where Ancelotti really comes through. And he's like, I don't give a shit who's on the pitch at a given time, but he manages those games so well. Like, he's so calm and composed. I rarely see him, like, stressing the fuck out. And Cholo Simeone looked like he was in an Instapot, dude. Like, I didn't know if he was going to have a heart attack. Every game. So, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, even in a game like this, I'm like, that's the difference. He plays for 38 matches, right? As opposed to, like, just fixing little things here and there for this. So, yeah, I think it gives us more confidence for sure.
The last thing I'll add is that I think that after this quarterfinal on this side of the bracket, I think no more Premier League teams are left. I think we get potentially Mbappe against his old team. And I think that that's right there going to be a juicy ass matchup, bro. I honestly am so excited to potentially see that. I don't want to skip ahead too far. I'm just saying, looking forward, right? A very interesting matchup looms.
Well, let's go ahead and move on to Barcelona versus Benfica in their tie. Barcelona winning 4-1 on aggregate. I'm going to be honest, I was very impressed with Benfica when the game was played in Portugal. I thought Szczesny was an absolute beast in that game. But I'm just going to start the discussion here on this game with how freaking good Inigo Martinez was in the second leg. Bro, I know we're going to do our best 11 of the round 16 later. He's got to be a CB. Absolutely has to be a CB.
He has to be. And bro, but think about who he's covering for, man. When Benfica equalized, what is Araujo doing? Like, what is he doing? Like, who is he marking? Who is he standing next to? He's so unaware in moments. So Inigo actually had to step up and make sure he was covering for, in all reality, the backup center back who's out there against Benfica at that moment, despite the fact that he's the captain. Very much props to Inigo Martinez. I think he had a fantastic tie. The second leg, he stood out even more. And bro, regarding Szczesny, holy. I mean, just
what a renaissance.
Oh, and you know what's crazy
Masterclass,
about that, bro? This guy was retired. He was literally kicking his fucking
smoking cigarettes,
smoking cigs, right? Just doing what he wanted until Barcelona came calling. And you still had fans for 2 or 3 months begging for Iñaki Peña to come back into this lineup. There's no way we're in contention in that second leg if Szczesny isn't playing that game. We give up 1 or 2 goals 100%. And so hopefully the fans see what I think I saw back then, which is the upside in Szczesny versus someone like Peña. Much more decisive, has seemed to iron out the growing pains of the keeper a little bit. And bro, I'm liking what I'm seeing so far, 100%.
Michael, who was Barcelona's best player across both legs against Benfica?
Both legs, only one man, Rafinha. The man who torments. He just torments Benfica, the former Sporting player. You just knew it was written in the stars as well. A former Sporting player, 1 season at the club against Benfica, scores with 10 men, and then scores 2 golazos in the next leg. I would probably put it at Rafinha number 1, Pedri 2, Yamal 3. No, De Jong 3, Yamal 4. Those would be my top 4.
That's the order.
That's the order, yeah. Because Yamal did not have a good first leg, but the second leg, that first half,
the focus on Yamal, people who are focusing on his output, because I see this all the time, right? Like when he scored that goal,
TikTokers, bro.
All of the haters are just like, he hasn't scored in La Liga since November. Brother, he leads the entire league in assists. What more do you want from your young protege winger, right? Like I don't know what more. The only one in double digits, by the way.
But Jose,
I just don't get
you know what you want from Yamal? You wanted to show up in the biggest moments. How many moments has this kid already shown up in his young career? Semifinals against France, round of 16 against Benfica. Maybe last year, even though he got subbed off because Araujo's red card against PSG, maybe you would have had a big moment against PSG in the Champions League. I'm telling you, Lamine Yamal is going to have more big moments during this UCL campaign. Probably in the quarterfinal against Dortmund, wherever they play in the semifinal, and possibly Yamal is just ridiculous. What he was doing, the assist. By the way, he meant that. If you look at the replay, he actually meant to pass that to Rafinha, which is even more ludicrous from him. So
the ball
I think the pass was perfect. So
his goal was nasty too.
Yeah, the second half, I think Barca kind of just
it was disgusting smooth. Yeah,
it wasn't even that much power on the shot.
No,
he just placed it to perfection.
Finesse the shit out of that.
I haven't screamed at that high pitch of an octave in my voice in quite some time, bro. Like I literally freaked out when he made that. I didn't know what he was going for. Like if he was trying to chip or like hit the back post, but the minute I saw it go right over the keeper's hand, I freaked out. It was insane.
I'll just say this: if Barcelona performed like that, like they did in the first half, and I don't want anybody to say, "Oh, it's only Benfica." Benfica destroyed Atletico this season in the UCL. They beat Juventus. They've given tough games to tough opponents in the Champions League this season. If Barcelona performed like that, they will win the UCL. They were unstoppable. Once they conceded the goal, they annihilated Benfica, which is the style of play they did. They showed you different elements of counter-attacking football, possession style of football, and individual brilliance. I thought Barcelona were fantastic. And look, man, they are looking very good. Remember early on in the season, I told you guys they can win the treble. It's on.
Undefeated in 2025, by the way. Have not lost a single game.
And you got us on this weekend.
Yeah.
On a
Knock
platter.
on wood. I tell you what, though, if there was a version of Atleti I would like to get at the weekend, it would be coming off of the week you guys have had. So, but with that said, you mentioned bogey teams earlier, Jack. Atleti has been our bogey team this season. We have to exercise certain demons coming into this weekend. I'm sure we'll have a reaction episode afterward, but that is a massive game on Sunday.
Where would you guys have had Vinicius ranked in the Ballon d'Or race before this Atleti tie?
I don't even think he would be.
He's not
even top 10.
Top 5, but
not even top 5. Maybe not even top 10. Yeah, this is a season to forget for Vinicius.
For sure.
Is he top 15 now after the tie?
I don't know.
We probably have to reel them all off like in order, but I don't know, man. I think Vinny, bro, this tie against Atleti, I think summarizes it through and through. Because again, right, while Real Madrid might be the bogey team for Atleti, it's not the other way around. And while they did a decent job of clamping him down, Mbappe, same thing. you just expected more. I think the PK summarized Vinny and maybe his season up to this point.
Also, the whole like dilemma or like drama off the field with the contract and all that shit, that has to play a role, dude. Like, it has to play a role mentally.
sure.
It has to play a role, not just as a player, but also as like the player for Real Madrid. And I think, after what we've seen with Mbappe, like, I don't know if you guys watched it on, or at least you, Joey. I don't know if you watched it on Tulane, but all they were talking about is like, do they look like they're having fun? Do they look like they're teammates? Do they look like they get along off the field? It's like, can we just shut the fuck up about that and just watch the game and, let them play? It's like all of that stuff, though, does play a factor. And honestly, everything led up to that penalty kick miss, in my opinion. That's a perfect example. It's a microcosm of what he's dealing with this season right now. And so for him, yeah, I mean, you saw him celebrating at the end of the game like he won the game single-handedly. And it's
did you guys see what happened when he got subbed off? He was showing Atleti fans 15.
No, 15? Yeah, I saw that. So
despite the fact that we basically got Brazil Vinny for this whole tie.
Pretty much, yeah.
No bullshit. Like we legitimately got the Brazilian, like the Brazil national team version of Vinny. And and we'll probably see more of that next week. But yeah, man, like that version of Vinny showed up, and I think that's, again, it just encapsulates what we've seen from him in this season.
Who was more disappointing in the round of 16, Mo Salah or Vinicius?
Bro, Mo.
Probably Mo because of the expectation.
The expectation. I didn't have any expectation. Not any expectations for Vinny. I think
they were lower though.
Yeah, they were lower. Just because right now, Mo is the front runner for Ballon d'Or. Coming in prior to being eliminated by PSG, like he was the front runner. Didn't show up in the first leg whatsoever when PSG dominated, and then I think had a better second leg, but it didn't translate into the result. And so, yeah, man. If the PK at the very end is the only contribution you really have, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's tough. I think now he's probably firmly, in my opinion, out of the running, just because of the national team aspect of it all. If he wins the Prem, I know the Prem bias is through the roof, insane. The PR, right, for the Premier League is crazy. But I always think back to when Messi won it over Haaland. I always think back to that. Haaland broke every record in the book. Didn't matter. Messi got a World Cup.
Well, that was a World Cup year as well, though.
Yeah, true. But I think it goes to show that moments in the biggest of occasions tend to equate directly to who wins that trophy.
So who's the front runner now? Is it Rafinha?
I think it's Rafinha.
But here's the thing, though. So that was my question was, dude. No, but listen to me.
I don't know, bro.
I asked this in a different chat. If Barcelona don't win a trophy this season, regardless of Rafinha having the season of his life,
no, he has to. I mean, they've already won a trophy technically, but he
Dembele wins the Ballon d'Or. If that happens,
I'm just saying, like, who wins it?
If Dembele is, I don't even know if he's number 2 right now. He's like 1B, and Rafinha's 1A.
Hasn't he scored like 30 goals or something this season?
Bro, he has scored 21 goals in 2025. People, just the year 2025 he scored 21 goals.
Insane.
Yeah. He's had a significantly better 2025 than 2024. Keep in mind, PSG in the league stage of this competition were ass.
For sure.
Arsenal dominated them 2-0. Right. And so like Dembele was a ghost in that game. I think at the turn of the year, he's been insane. I think in order for Dembele to win it, he does have to take down, bro, like a Real Madrid. Like I really think that has to happen. Even if they don't win it, I think he would still be somewhat in pole position to an extent, depending on what happens to Barca. But like taking down a Real Madrid in a semifinal to get to another final without Mbappe, without Neymar, without Messi, any other superstar they've had in recent seasons. Bro, against Mbappe too. And think about that, bro. If Dembele were to win that prestigious award with Mbappe gone, and Mbappe never getting a chance to do that with PSG.
Michael, you look like you want to say something.
No, that's just a scary narrative. And I remember what you said, Jack, when we did that Champions League storylines, and you said the Streets final, and you said your Streets final is PSG Barca. I'm not forgetting that. I might have to run that clip on Twitter. I said this guy's the prophet.
We need that final too. We need that final too, 100%, bro.
We might need that final. I can't lie. After what I saw these two, as a Liverpool fan, after what I saw Dembele do, I'm like, this guy's a new man. Marriage is a beautiful thing, people.
Bro, we got some comments on that. People are like, nah, that wouldn't be exciting. I'm like, bro, what? Like,
what do you
after Dembele was smiling after they knocked Barca out last season?
That's the first time I've ever seen him smile. Yeah.
There was one thing I wanted to say, though. There's one disappointing player that we didn't talk about during this round from the La Liga teams. Antoine Griezmann. I'm very disappointed. I think he was I think he was really disappointing, and what could be his final year with Atleti and maybe his final UCL campaign to put up 2 performances. It's not even like, he was marked out at the game or anything like that. his touch was poor. His passing was poor. If he just had better control of the game, maybe Atleti would have been more dangerous on the counterattack. But Griezmann kept giving up the ball. I thought Rodrigo de Paul, by the way, was amazing. In both legs, I thought Rodrigo de Paul was, other than Julian, was the best player for Atleti. But Griezmann was the biggest letdown for me for Atleti. And I think for all La Liga clubs. You can talk about Vini, you can talk about Mbappe, but I think Griezmann is so pivotal to this team that when he doesn't perform, there's just too much of a reliance on Julian than to have individual brilliance, or we saw in the first 30 seconds. So what you guys think about Griezmann?
The only counterpoint I have to that is that despite, I agree. I think the word I was using in my head was like he was very lukewarm, probably the best way to put it.
That's kind of flattering.
Yeah, I guess maybe.
That is flattering.
I think he tried to play conductor too much and try to worry about what his teammates were doing to be in the right positions on the pitch. I think Barrios and De Paul were fantastic, and Barrios has had moments throughout the season, right, where you're like, dude, what are you doing? But I think he stepped up and almost matured in a big way, and despite all that, they still lost. But I still think that those two midfielders were the best for Atleti, hands down. Griezmann, to me, I don't think it's a situation where he just like fluked it. I don't know, because he's had a great season, I think, to an extent, right? Like he's had a pretty damn good season all around. Maybe also for him, I can't think of very many great performances he's had against Real Madrid over the years, right? Like how many fantastic performances has he had?
Not many that I can remember.
Not many, one at most. I would actually argue, talking about Dembele 2025, massive stock up. Griezmann has not been good this year. I would say the last like Griezmann masterclass, oh my God, this guy's amazing, was probably when we came back and beat Sevilla. That was probably Sevilla, the last time that it was like, oh, like Griezmann, man, screw the MLS, baby, sign a 5-year contract extension. Now it's like, oh my God, I feel like we're one of those NFL teams where it's like, do we re-sign the quarterback? Because he's 38, and I mean, he threw a lot of interceptions.
Tom Brady at Buccaneers.
Yeah, 100%. Who did win a Super Bowl, but yes, it's like, damn, okay, letting Griezmann walk would be a huge risk for us. Club legend. But at the same time, you see indicators in games like this. I mean, in every Madrid game pretty much this season, even the Barca games has not been great. And you're like, is Atleti getting ahead of the departure? Are they like seeing what's coming down the pipe with this guy? You know, his French national team career is also done. He's retired from France. Is now the time to walk away, despite him still being an elite footballer? Can he do this another season in La Liga? Does he even freaking want to?
I was gonna say,
I don't know.
Want to be there anymore? Yeah,
I don't know.
I was actually, you know what's a better comparison? It's the Aaron Rodgers with the Jets.
Hey, that's a great comparison, actually.
Although I would say Griezmann has had a better season than Aaron Rodgers.
We all saw how that ended.
Yeah, we saw how that ended.
Aaron Rodgers is also like the most toxic figure in the NFL.
I was going to say, maybe
I think
Griezmann is
a
a conspiracy guy. Anti-vax guy.
Yeah, 100%. I still think, like, again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm giving him too much leeway. I still think he wasn't half bad. He just wasn't like impactful is the best word. I still think some of his touches where he springs some forwards into space. That the shot though really was lukewarm at best. And like, I don't know. I just was expecting to see more moments from him. I think overall play was okay. There just were no moments. Like, where's the moment coming? Julian had several of them. De Paul had several of them. Which I think De Paul did he get injured in this game?
I think it's cramping up.
Cramping.
Yeah,
it was his hamstring. It was already tied up.
Get off it too.
Yeah. So that's something to watch as well. I just think by the standard that he sets, he didn't meet it. But I think if you just look at it flat on paper, no other context around it, it wasn't a terrible game. But he just didn't have that impact moment that could have been what led Atleti to a W across these two legs. It just wasn't there.
We started a really great topic. Let's conclude it. Top 3 most disappointing players from La Liga in the UCL round of 16. Griezmann's up there. Do we want to go Vinny 1 or Griezmann 1?
I can't lie. I think I'm putting Griezmann 1.
Yeah, we went through, so I think Griezmann has to be 1.
I would agree with that. As an Atleti fan, well below standard. So Griezmann 1.
Yep.
Vinny 2.
Yep.
Yeah.
Vinny did nothing.
And Mbappe 3 for me.
Mbappe's up there. He should be.
Mbappe 3.
Yeah.
It sounds crazy, but like Barca. I mean, like if you compare Barca to either one of these teams, I think granted the opponent also factors into that. But Mbappe shut out for an entire leg. And the first leg, again, very much the assessment I gave of Griezmann, just there. You
Am
know?
I hating if I throw in Lewandowski?
God damn it, Mikey. You stole my thunder there. No,
He's
it's,
like
bro,
fringe.
Lua has a case there, bro.
He does.
Jose, man.
He missed in that first half of the
another
first leg, and then
Yeah.
oh my!
Oh,
He did.
dude, the Shark is stealing his spot, bro. Lewis.
The thing is, though, the difference
bro.
between the difference between Levy and Mbappe is that Mbappe against City, fucking world class, right? Like that run that
Yeah.
he had up until those
Okay.
two ties, you're like, holy shit! I expect that to continue. Levy, though, for the past months,
He's
2-3
been a
months,
donkey
Avalanche.
for 2 months, bro. He's been a donkey
So
for
I
2
think,
months.
in my
Avalanche.
opinion, it's like he performed as expected.
Expectation weighs
below.
in heavily.
Correct.
Okay. Yes. If we're going who underperformed their expectations, Lua is not top 3 and it is Mbappe.
Yeah.
But if you want to go just like, brother, what were you doing out there?
Well, that's just factually.
It has to be
What are you
Lewandowski.
doing up there?
Yeah.
It has to be like that's what I was saying about Lua. I was like, bro, someone yanked this man. Like, and
For
I
who?
wouldn't say any-
I mean, like who are we gonna
Tiburon.
play?
Tiburon.
He's not a starter, bro. We've seen it. We've seen it too many times.
I know.
Like he's just
bro,
unfortunate. but
Danny Olmo false 9. I'm not even kidding. Like,
I
Lua
would
at
take it.
times,
He was
I would take
filthy.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
he
would
wasn't
take it.
giving you much. Lewandowski was not giving you much. So I think that's like a top 3. Michael, I know you got to go. So we'll do the exact same exercise, but the reverse, and then we can cut the EP. Best 3 performers from the La Liga teams in the UCL round of 16. Who do we want to go number 1? I think this could be a fierce battle to get in here.
Rafinha.
Rafinha 1? Okay.
Bro, listen, this is a crazy shout. Crazy shout. I think it's Pedri.
I think so too.
It's not crazy. It's not crazy.
I think Pedri's
I
number
like
one.
that,
I
actually.
think you look at the second leg, bro. Rafa had 2 goals, Yamal had a banger, and Pedri still got man of the match. And again, a man of the match is also a convoluted award all by itself. But you watch him play, and really what he's being asked to do by Flick, right? I think Frankie has a very specific role. Donny has a very specific role. Pedri is doing all of it, and the first leg we went down to 10 men. This guy's still finding a way to wiggle his way out of tackles, out of challenges, out of duels, keep the ball, retain it, even with the disadvantage. I mean, he kept us in that tie just as much as Szczesny did, in my opinion.
Can I go Pedri, Julian, Fede?
Ooh.
No, we got to
Leave
throw in
out
Rafinha,
Rafinha?
bro.
We
We got to throw in Rafinha. I'm sorry.
Bro, I mean, but Fede was so good, man. So
I
we
know.
dropping
love
Fede
Fede,
or Julian?
huh? You're a big Fede
Dude,
guy.
I love Fede
Bro,
too.
I mean, he only saved
Did we see that first
3
leg?
effing goals that we
No,
should have.
I know.
He's probably the most Atleti-like or Simeone-like player
God.
in that
He's
Real
Uruguayan.
Simeone would,
Did you see when he first
Simeone
leg
would
kick?
adopt him.
Yeah,
for
100%.
sure,
In a
100%.
heartbeat.
Bro, he was a
Um,
$5 million transfer
No, I know.
from Peñarol. What
crazy.
the hell? That's
I
got to
think
be
Fede-
top
Fede was-
5 buys of
So
all time.
Pedri, how much was Pedri? Also 5 million or 3 million?
4.
Insanity.
Crazy.
I would
We could
actually go
debate.
1. I would go 1 Pedri, 2 Rafinha, 3 Fede.
Okay.
I'm kind of there. My 3 would actually be Julian, but only because, dude, that banger in the first leg was fucking insane. I think he was
Yeah.
all over the
He was
place in
dangerous
leg 2.
today.
He was dangerous, man.
Super-
Julio
Yeah.
was
every
so
time he touched the
good.
ball, and you could tell he was confident. He would rip one from like 30 out. I'm like, okay, dude, Juninho Pernambucano over here. Jesus Christ.
90
He probably
million
would've been
might
even
be a
better if-
bargain.
Griezmann helped him out. Probably would have been even better. Man
You
was
guys
on
would
an
have gone
island.
through. You guys would have gone through.
Pep would take him back in a
That's what
heartbeat, bro.
Joey
In a
said, for
heartbeat.
sure.
So, Andre, what's your top 3?
Well, now that we talked about it, I think Pedri, Julian. I still want to give it to Rafinha, but I could see why Valverde would get the shout. But to me,
Was-
the way that Rafinha is playing right now, he's meeting those expectations that we were talking about. Like he's just
Yeah.
flying on the pitch.
Bro,
Right
the goal being down a man in the first leg was everything. Dude, I
100%.
Clutch.
Yep.
Incredible
massive,
shot.
massive.
It was a howler from the Benfica back line. But
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah,
Antonio Silva, I don't know what he was doing.
I want to throw some. I think that's the worst part of their team, and their midfielder. His last name begins with
Kochko?
B. Dude was no.
Barrio. Barrio, Luca Barrio from Luxembourg.
Bro, he was trash. I'm sorry, that guy was ass cheeks in this tie. I'm sure he's good in the league, but after he looked out of his depth against De Jong and Pedri and Olmo, bro. He
They
looked
had no
lost.
competition.
He
Yeah.
needed a map. Okay, last question. I think I'm okay with y'all's top 3. Is Fede Real Madrid's top performer from the UCL round of 16, or is there somebody else we could throw in there?
I would say yes, but massive shout to Raul Asensio.
I was going to say on Asensio.
That motherfucker stepped up, and he's been stepping up for a long time. I know you guys, give him a couple shouts already in the season, but the maturity like that he's showing right now. A year ago, nobody knew his name. Not even a year ago, 6 months ago, nobody knew his name. My boy was wearing like all black shoes. You know what I mean? Like he got the like team awarded shoes. Now he's wearing
terrible haircut too. Like
horrible haircut. But for some reason, some reason, I feel like he's gonna be a Ramos-esque type of player. Like just the,
bro, a left field jab by
just
Jab.
I can feel that he's a prick through the screen
he's a
when
prick
I watch
through
him.
and through, 100%.
That's why I'm like, God
he's
damn
my
it, bro! They
prick.
found the next Ramos.
I-
Exactly. I'm
100%.
like,
I
God,
still-
this guy's
hey.
about to be world class.
I still give it to Fetty because I think Asensio looks better with Fetty as a right back. Period. Like I still give it to Fetty.
But he still looked pretty good when Fede went into the midfield.
No,
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
True. I think
Vasquez
it's the way they set up. But I think if Lucas Vasquez is back there, we're having a completely different conversation.
I would love to see his dual percentage against Julian in both legs because that bro was fast. And there was a couple times it was Julian 1-on-1, and I was like, okay, here we go. And Asensio did
and then it just
phenomenally well, man.
I think if Rodrigo replicated his performance from the first leg to the second leg, I think Rodrigo would have been number one. Because I thought he was fantastic in that first leg. But the second leg, he was quiet.
Best overall attacker in that lineup. And I will not be swayed otherwise.
It's him and Yamal. It's like they just weren't good enough in both legs.
And
to
moments.
be in the top three.
Yeah, they didn't show up in moments, for sure.
Or like Szczesny. I mean, he like saved you guys in the first. He was good in the second leg too. Don't get me wrong. Do not get me wrong. He was very good, but he wasn't as necessary at the Montjuic as he was away in Benfica. Like, some of the saves he was making.
I wanted to see him afterward, just post up on the goalpost with like a cigarette in hand. I just needed to see it one time, bro.
You know what? You know why he performed well? Because all the flares that the Benfica fans let off. It's probably the smoke from the flares that made him go crazy into Super Saiyan mode. I think that's
just
what
secondhand
high.
Secondhand.
Yeah, secondhand high. Yeah, exactly.
Feeds off that shit. I like it.
Okay, I'm sorry. I keep lying. I swear on my life. This is the last question. Best goalkeeper performance round of 16. Alisson, Donnarumma, Szczesny.
But definitely not Donnarumma.
Not Donnarumma, no.
He
doesn't want to catch the damn ball.
The PSG fans told me he was the best in the world after the game, so I just
there's
just the 2 pence.
Some French fish over there.
Well, somebody said he was better than Alisson in the fixture. I was like, bro, deactivate.
Out of their
I'd say Szczesny. Szczesny in my opinion.
Szczesny because of the sheer number of saves, but Alisson, bro, in that the first leg too against PSG, how many shots did they face? It was like
he did
30.
say something like that. He did say it was like the performance of his life.
I was going to say Alisson.
I'm just going Alisson. It was mine.
I think
and he came up clutch in the second leg as well with a couple of good saves on Dembele and Desiree Doué.
Had to play against a better attack too, to be honest, bro. PSG's attack versus Benfica's, even if the volume is there because they're a down a man, doesn't matter. I mean, there's just
that's a good point.
Flat out better attack.
He won against Cavada. That was ridiculous.
Oh man, I have no idea how Liverpool stand that game.
No,
Alisson, he didn't save a single pen.
They should have subbed in Kelleher, to be honest, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, he's terrible at pens. Remember the World Cup in 2022? He couldn't save a pen against Croatia. That's why they lost.
That's his one weakness. I would have subbed in Kelleher for that one. I think Kelleher
same thing with Oblak. These guys are just terrible at pens.
Yeah.
And Donnarumma, man, that guy is a wall. He actually looks bigger than the goal.
Way better at PKs than just the traditional open play.
100%, bro. I mean, I thought the Harvey Elliott in the first leg, I was like, oh, goddamn, it's North Macedonia all over again, bro.
All right, one final question. Who's the
best? As long as Michael's asking it, not me.
Yeah. My girlfriend's gonna kill me after this.
It's like not me.
Who's the best shot stopper when it comes to penalties in the world? Dibu or Donnarumma?
Ooh, bro. For the aura and to piss off Andre
at the same time.
Yeah, for aura and to piss off Andre, Dibu, bro. I will, bro. He hates Dibu. I love that man. If my kid grows up to be a keeper, I want the antics like Dibu, bro. I want all the dancing. I want everything, bro. 1000%.
I feel like Dibu's done it. I mean, bro, to do it in a World Cup, and the Copa America.
Yeah,
true.
Two Copa Americas against Ecuador and against Colombia in the shootout in the previous one.
Yeah,
it's tough, bro.
True.
Does Donnarumma have a penalty win with Italy in a knockout? outside
the
of
final against
Euro
Euro
against
20.
England.
Okay,
And,
no, I mean
and
outside,
Spain in the
outside of Euro
semifinals.
2016.
Spain in the semifinals.
Yes,
Right.
that's
Yes. Okay. I knew I was
back-to-back
missing one.
shootouts,
Damn,
yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
Damn, he's got the resume too, though. He just
Nah,
doesn't have the
bud.
World Cup.
He
World
doesn't
Cup
have
final.
World
You
Cup
can't,
finals,
you can't beat that.
It trumps it. Yeah, I think
He
so.
Yeah.
doesn't
Does DB
scare me. Dibu scares the shit out of me, dude.
Yeah,
Does
it's more like
Dibu have
Dibu
like a
Martinez does like a heady.
semifinal
Dibu
in the Europa League, Champions League? Did he win
No,
any with
no.
Villa last year?
He had the
No.
quarterfinal against the Netherlands in the same tournament.
Didn't they
but-
have a cup run,
Yeah.
Villa? I just remember him in a Villa kit. Like
You're
making
right.
some
He
saves
did
in
have
it.
one FA Cup save.
It might have been in a cup tie.
Was it
where
Man
he
U?
was. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
It was a big club, I think, that they took down.
Yeah, I could not tell
But you know
much.
what's the difference between the two goalkeepers? I think it's Dibu. It's all just a mental game with him. Whereas
Yeah,
Donnarumma is like,
100%.
just try and beat me,
I'm
bro.
just big.
I'll save
just
it.
big.
Yeah,
Yeah, 100%.
like this.
Guy's head touches
That
the damn
wingspan is
crossbar,
ridiculous.
bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude is moving like Mutombo out there.
He was like
Yeah, but-
spitting on the ball. rubbing
Shout
it
out
on
Michael
there.
for the
There you
Dikembe
go.
reference. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
that's wild. That is insane.
Dude, he's got the goddamn Victor Wembanyama archetype, the body type,
does,
dude.
yeah.
He looks
Bro.
like
He
a
does.
spider. It's great. Debo looks like he's a little too fat to play goalkeeper, and he's still a beast. Still a beast, bro.
You know who he
mean-
looks like? He looks like that Bahrain goalkeeper, Jack.
Luftala?
Bro.
Yeah, he does.
A Bahrain.
You guys have to look at a photo of this. By the
Bro,
way. You
I'm
just
Googling
understand
it
the
right
reference.
I cannot
I'm
believe the
Googling it right now.
Bahrain national team is getting mentioned.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
The most
This is
obscure
the
shout.
Go podcast. The Go podcast.
Bro, this is the Go Pod. If
Luftala?
y'all are not subscribed, Luftala. It's like
Oh.
LUFTHALLAH.
My boy Thick.
Bro,
with
he
two
looks
T's.
like a bear, dude.
He
He looks
does.
like a bear.
Holy
Bro, Michael,
shit.
when I said bogey teams earlier, I almost said Kuwait and Jordan. I was like, not now,
Mm.
not now. Like,
No,
this
no,
is
no,
not
no.
the time.
Save it,
Bro,
Bro,
save
he
it.
does.
Save it.
He
Now
looks
you
like a
can.
fucking bear, bro. 1000%.
But now we've
I'm not
mentioned
even
Luftala
joking.
from Bahrain. So, I mean,
Holy
RIP
shit.
to the podcast. I think that's time for us to go ahead and end things here right at the 45-minute mark. Guys, this has been your UCL round of 16 recap. I'm in a much better mood now, despite Atleti getting knocked out. That was a great time. We hope you guys enjoyed the content. Before you click off, make sure you follow me and my co-host on social media. All the links are in the description of this video. If you're listening to this podcast on a streaming platform, please give the podcast a 5-star rating. And lastly, if you could share the EP with a friend, that would be much appreciated. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Lengua de la Liga, and we will be back soon here on the channel this weekend. Atleti versus Barca. Don't miss that. We'll see you guys in the next one.